Dear students, in the previous lectures, we had studied about the culture and rearing practices which are adopted during sericulture. Today, we are going to study the diseases which haunts the sericulture and causing economic losses. Among the important diseases which we need to study, the first one is protozoan diseases. Protozoan disease is called as Pepperine, also called as Microsporidiasis. In Pepperine disease, the larva develops pepper-like spots and the causative organism is Nosema bombycis. The mode of transmission is through contaminated mulberry leaves, and the disease transfers from mother moth to embryo. From surface contamination of egg at the time of hatching, the latter is called as transovum transmission and the former is called as transovarial contamination. Now, what are the symptoms of this Pepperine disease? One is retarded larval growth. The molting gets delayed. There is a loss of appetite. The larva stops feeding and it becomes dormant and inert kind of animal. The color becomes rustic brown, which is the mark of this disease, and the larva so often starts vomiting, and also we come across some anal discharge in the larva, and the larva invariably turns black after the death. The sources of infection of Pepperine is dead larvae, vomited fluid, the trays infected with vomited fluid, and the contaminated egg surfaces. Now the diseases, they come and they go, but the management of diseases is very important so that we may not get economic losses. We use disinfectants of many kinds to disinfect the rearing places. Hygiene maintenance is recommended. Monitoring of Microsporidium spores by microscope. The mother moth examination is done. If found infected with spores, the eggs are rejected. Now, the method of examination is crushing the eggs and observing them under the microscopes. After this important protozoan disease, we come to the viral diseases which infects the silk moth. Nuclear polyhedrosis is caused by Baccaloviride family viruses. The Rheoviridae family virus causes cytoplasmic polyhedrosis. Picanoviridae causes infectious flatury, and Parvoviridae causes densonucleosis. What is polyhedrosis? The polyhedral bodies called polyhedra get formed in the body of moths. Nuclear polyhedrosis is also called as grassery popularly, and milky disease, hanging disease, degeneration disease are the other names of nuclear polyhedrosis. In nuclear polyhedrosis, crystalline polyhedral bodies get built up in the nucleus of hemocytes, trachea, and dermal cells of the larvae. The symptoms of viral diseases are the skin becomes very shiny, its skin becomes fragile and gets ruptured easily. From that rupture, hemolymph oozes out, and we also observe certain intersegmental swelling and molting gets seized up. Infection is caused by contaminated mulberry leaves, infected larvae, milky white fluid in turn contaminate the other stages of the life cycle of larva. Skin ruptures and the pathogen comes out with hemolymph, which also contaminates the rearing houses and the mulberry leaves. This disease is managed again by disinfectant, use of disinfectant in the rearing houses, personal hygiene, and proper disposal of disease larvae, and maintenance of optimum temperature and humidity. Flatchery is another kind of disease which is caused by both viruses and bacteria. Flatchery virus BM1FV causes flatchery from virus side, and from bacterial side it is caused by Streptococcus, Staphylococcus, and Bacillus thuringiensis. The infection spreads by infected mulberry leaves, the dead diseased silkworm, fecal matter, gut juice, and wounds. The prime symptoms are that the larval body gets softened, flaccid, larva becomes inactive, and vomit gut juice out of mouth. Feces become very soft with high moisture content. The thoracic region of the larva becomes translucent, and the larva ultimately gets paralyzed, and tremors are also observed in its movement. Muscardine is the fungal disease. White muscardine is caused by Beauveria bassiana. Green muscardine is caused by Nomuria relays, and yellow muscardine is caused by Aspergillus tamari. These are the diseases. Now, some pest also troubles the silk moth. Among them, oozy flies, which is called as Exorista bombycis, is of prime importance. It enters the larva, and where it enters, black scar is created. Oozy larva enters the body of silkworm with hooks. It has some hooks through which it pierces the body of larva, and formation of black scar is the identification mark of infection of oozy fly larvae. It is prevented by putting up nylon nets at all the doors and windows, which is called as oozy trap. This oozy trap prevents the oozy fly to come inside the rearing houses and be able to lay eggs. Another disease is maggot disease caused by Tricholiga. It is also a fly. So these are the important diseases and pests which troubles the rearer and practitioners of sericulture. So these have to be avoided to get good crop. This is all in the diseases of silkworm. Thank you very much.